Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we're continuing to take a look at what I'm expecting to be top tier in the post-ban list world. And Lady Labrynth, or more specifically Labrynth in general, I do expect to be top tier still. And with this in mind, the main reason I think for this is mostly due to the fact that I think Yugioh is going to be pretty prominent. I think Rescue Ace is going to be pretty prominent, and I think that those two decks in particular, this deck just kind of eats alive. So there's that. But yeah, this is the deck that I'm, expecting to be kind of like an anti-meta strat. But yeah, lots of traps. It's traps, baby. This is basically the control deck of the format. It is a control deck. I don't know why I did the quotations. Yeah, let's just go through the card by card and the explanation. Starting off with the fact that I'm playing 41 because, I don't know, that's the list I chose. Realistically, I probably shouldn't be playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison or, like, Lab or something like that, but they've come up occasionally in 1v games. But, yeah, it's pretty simple. We're playing very few monsters. We're playing 3 Maxi, 2 Lava Golem, 1 Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and then 1 Lovely Lab, and 3 Lady Lab. Because our goal is summon Lady, and then protect it with a bunch of traps. And then get, like, the advantage off of the Lady and stuff like that. So, there's that. We're also running 3 total spells. Pot of Duality, Pot of Prosperity, and Lab. Now, again, realistically, maybe I shouldn't be playing the Lab, but it's pretty nice in the mirror matchup, and it allows you to deal with like spells and traps a little bit more effectively, so it's not the worst. However, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're wondering why we're not playing something like Pot of Extrav, it's because we do need specific cards within our extra. Most notably, Lingaribo. Now, I played this prior to the new ban list, so I'm playing the Lingaribo, but I would probably cut the Lab or the Pot of Prosperity for Pot of Extrav, or cut Lord of the Heavenly Prison or something like that for Pot of Extrav, because realistically, I don't need Lingaribo when Ibly gets banned. The only reason this is here is because I fear Ibly. Smile. But that's pretty much it. As for the rest, it is all just a bunch of traps. So we're running 3 apiece of Infip, we're running 3 apiece of Trap Trick, we're running 3 apiece of Welcome Lab, we're running 3 apiece of Big Welcome, Daruma, and Solemn Strike, and those are our 3 ofs. Now, why are we running Infip if we're just planning to play a whole bunch of traps? The main reason for the Infip is so that we have the ability to potentially set additional cards, and just kind of like give you that additional negation. I have found it to be very, very useful. There are potentially other traps that you could run here instead, but since we don't have like simultaneous equation cannon, there's no real point in playing a different trap. I feel like this is just one of the best ones, right? As you can see, we're also running Compulse, which is not that great of a trap, but we're playing it because we kind of need stuff. So the Infip is just here as like, 1, it's a normal trap, 2, it's also just really strong, just in general, and it helps like for going second, right? You like give them a Lava Golem and then you Infip and you're off to the races, right? So it's just minor things like that. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of 2 ofs as well for our Trap Trick. We're playing the 2 Compulse as just another trap to kind of fill in slots. And realistically, if we didn't play Trap Trick, I would probably play this at 1. But alas, we are. And it's very nice to have 2 of it. So we're playing 2 of it. It's pretty nice. It's just like a way to trigger your Lovely or your Lady or anything else like that. You're welcome, etc. We also have 2 Dogmatic of Punishment, 2 Ice Dragon's Prisons, and 2 Terrors of the Overreach. The reason we're only running 2 of each of these is because they are hard once per turns, right? Which means drawing multiple is not great. So we want to kind of see them throughout the course of the duel, like less often. We want to see them paired with things like Daruma Karma Cannon, Trap Trick, Infip, stuff like that, right? You want them alongside an additional trap, right? Now, we could also potentially play something like Different Dimension Ground. The main reason I'm not playing that in particular is mostly due to the fact that it doesn't actually do anything to progress our own game state. It can potentially slow down the opponent, but you could also play against like Tear or Stun, and then it's just kind of like a dead card. So it's not exactly like the greatest, so give or take. Having additional back row removal might be worthwhile, something like an Unending Nightmare or more specifically, Heavy Storm Duster, I think would be pretty nice. I think that really helps out in things like Yugioh, in things like Kashtira, and against a bunch of these other decks that just, it would be nice to have back row removal for. So that's another option. And then we are playing 2 Floodgates, that being Rivalry and Skill Drain, and yeah, that's pretty much it. They're pretty good. That's all I have to say. They keep you in the game. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Most of the time, I'm not actually winning due to the... I should say, most of the time, I'm not winning because I don't see them. But when I do see them, they're pretty useful. There's a lot of different decks that just get absolutely trounced by Rivalry. So, there's that. Anyway, as for the extra deck, it's not really too important. Just a bunch of Dogmatic Punishment targets. And that's pretty much it. There's not really anything else in here of note. Except for the Lingaribos, which I already mentioned. Oh, I'm also playing Dark and SB just because, like, sometimes they come up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs. Alright, here we are going second, and, well, we drew the Roach, so that's pretty nice. I'm immediately going to fire it. My opponent has the Gamma. Oops. But, yeah, we'll just see if that matters. My opponent's going to go for the Pot of Prosperity, revealing off the top. Whole bunch of cards. Hey, Airlifter is pretty good here. They're going to go for the Droll, the yada, yada. Of course, they go for the Airlifter here. They're going to normal summon Airlifter. And, yeah, with Rescue Ace being one of the best decks, or at least what I'm expecting to be one of the best decks, I just wanted to show you this game and show you more or less what our goal is. So they're going to go for the SP Little Knight and go into the Turbulence, and I'm like, I probably... Actually, I was thinking, like, oh, maybe I'll interact with this, but this is why you go for the SP Little Knight here, because now if I go for the Imperm, it's not going to do anything. They make Apo. Comedy. Step 5 pass. You'll love to see it. Well, guess what? I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm not. I'm going to go for the for the Maxi here. They're going to go for the Apo, because of course they are, and then I'm going to, you know, infit that. So, at the very least, we get to draw a card. They go for the Preventer as well, and Comedy. I saw all 3 Maxis. You'll love to see it. They're going to go for the Airlifter as well, and we're just going to set 4 and pass them. In standby phase, we're going to fire off that. They're going to go for the Rescue, I believe, and then I go for the IDP to just my Turbulence, and then I believe I banish the... Oh, yeah, I banish Hydrant here. So that they are not allowed to do that. Out comes the Phoenix, and I'm like, that's A-okay. I do draw into another Infip, which is kind of funny. But they're going to go after the Compulse, so might as well put the Phoenix back. It's not like the greatest trade, because putting the Phoenix back is not exactly great for me, because on the following turn, they could potentially make another Phoenix. But I'm like, yeah, for the most part, I don't really care. They're going to go for the Turbulence here. I'm going to go for the Solemn Strike, preventing them from getting the Turbulence advantage, because that is pretty much the best way that they can actually get anything here. So, there's that. But, yep, just during the end phase, we're going to go for the Trap Trick. I go for Welcome here. The main reason Welcome is a little bit better in this build as opposed to going for Big Welcome is because you're more so focused on actually getting it into the grave so that you can utilize other traps like Compulse or IDP in order to recycle it over and over. Because actually getting that into rotation is very valuable. So that's more or less what we do here. We're going for the Welcome here, and we're going to summon out our Lady Lab. We're going to go and activate the effect in response to their Extinguish. They're going to then contain it as well, which is very funny. So, yeah, that was absolutely worth it. We draw, not the greatest of draws, but it's fine. Set 3 pass. They're going to go for the effect here in order to summon out the Hydrant. And yeah, they're kind of running low on resources. Most of the time, they're only playing the 2 Hydrant, the 2 Turbulence, and the 2 Preventer. And they already have, you know, a Turbulence, both of their Preventers, and both of their Hydrants in rotation. Also, both of the Airlifters have been gone through. So they're kind of running low on actual meaningful resources. So there's that. They're going to go for the Hydrant here. I'm going to go for the Imperm. Had they, yeah, there's that. They go for Called By. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. That's going to be frustrating, but we go for the Big Welcome here. I'm going to activate its effect and summon out the Lady, and then bounce it back to hand, and this resets the Welcome Lab, so I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good here. That is not great, but it's also not terrible. We're going to go for the Lovely here, to which my opponent will extinguish it. Now, should I have gone for Lady there? No. Yeah, there's not much that I can do there. They're going to go for the Hydrant again. I'm going to go for the Solemn Strike and just kind of hope and pray that they don't really have anything. They reset another Extinguish and they pass the turn. I'm like, Coolio! Hooray! Terrors of the Overroot is a trap, which is the important part. It is a trap that can activate, that we can then set a Lady off of. That's the whole point. They go for the Diabell Star here, searching with Wanted, and they had the OSS in hand. and they pitched OSS. I don't know what the last card in hand is, but that better be incredible. But now we have the ability to summon out the lady here, which is very fantastic, and we get to reset the Welcome Lab. At this point, my opponent concedes, realizing they're kind of out of resources, and I have just begun. Good game. Alright, once again, going second, and one of the matchups that makes this deck in particular difficult, at least this style of this deck, is the matchup that we are about to see. Now, I do draw the Roach, because of course I do. Anyway, but yeah, Tearlaments in particular. Main reason being, with access to the field spell, it becomes very difficult for me to slow them down enough to really start to control the duel. However, with the new ban list, I draw the Roach again, by the way, hilarious. With the new ban list and no more Rhino, this matchup might be a little bit easier. And the third Roach. To be fair, the rest of my hand, it was pretty garbage, so, especially for this matchup. But, yeah, here's Roach 2, Electric Boogaloo. They're going to go to just immediately to battle. I'm going to go for my Welcome Lab. They're going to Ash that, and I'm like, A-okay. They also did not Ash the Max C, which is wild, so they just didn't have anything. So, alright, fair enough. And I draw the third Daruma. Now, no, that's it. That's all three. That's all three, baby! I put this guy in attack position. I probably should have put it in defense, but it's fine. They do end up milling a name, because of course they do. But out comes the Rukalos. Yeah. I'm just going to go main phase here. We're going to go for the Daruma here in order to set the IDP, and then just activate the lady in hand, and special summon it, so that now we have a guy. So we have the two Darumas, and of course we have the IDP, which is pretty good. They're going to go for the Snow here, and mill Heavy Storm. Spooky. Why is Heavy Storm at 3, by the way? They're going to go for the Rukalos here. They're going to negate the effect of the IDP, and I'm like, that's fine. Not much I can do about that. Back comes this guy. We're going to flip everything face down, but we do get to trigger our lady in order to set the big welcome. At this point, we're pretty much in this game. Oh, drawing Pot of Duality. Now, I have basically two options here. I can either Pot of Duality, or I can big welcome. Now, I fear for my life, so I'm like, do I... Like, I'm really trying to think here. I do go for the big welcome. They don't chain anything, by the way. They have Snow, and they have a Shuffler in Grave that they could utilize to, like, chain block here. But I just get the IDP for free, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, we get our lady here. They're going to go and shuffle away our welcome. They also shuffle away Rukalos and Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm, sure. Rukalos, I guess... But they left a big welcome in here. And that will come to bite them in the butt. Anyway, we summon the third lady and just pass the turn. It's very funny. We didn't go for the duality. We kind of can't. They go for the Trivia Karma here and activate the effect of the Trivia Karma. And they're cheating! They're cheating! Perlora, it's fine. But I'm actually going to bounce this because guess what? This can only be activated once per turn. Now, this may seem really strange. Why are you doing this? Don't give them back Rhino. They would just search on the following turn. They're dead. They're dead on field. There's nothing that they can do here, right? With Snow, even with Snow summoning, right? They would have to banish pretty much their entire field and grave in order for them to survive. Just for them to survive. And the thing is, I have Ice Dragon's Prison. So if they activate Snow, I chain Ice Dragon's Prison, target Snow, they'd have to chain, and then they would still die. So they're just dead on field. It's not really anything that I need to worry about. And I think they realize that and just concede. They would have needed to have, like, a normal summonable guy there anyway, but we knew that they drew the, well, we most likely knew what they drew. But, good game. Okay, I know all of the replays have been us going second, but this one in particular is very funny. I'm just gonna let my opponent do their thing, right? I do have Imperm. I ain't gonna use it. What am I gonna use it on? You think an Imperm is gonna stop this combo? It's Cyberse. They have like 6,000 ways to combo, right? So I'm not really too concerned about whatever they're doing, especially since I drew the Lava Golem. And this is where I think a second or a third Lava Golem would be nice. Be pretty good for going second specifically. Just being able to like Lava Golem the opponent's field, pretty nice. But out comes the Transcode Talker. They're gonna then yada yada do the thing. Yep. They're gonna search like 10 bajillion times. I'm just gonna let you watch this. I'm not really gonna say too much. I don't know really what to even say about this combo. It is a combo that does exist in some capacity in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't know why it exists. By the way, did you know that they can search freaking circular through this combo? Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that just goofy? Right? They go for inverted here, right? Which happens to be a light. And then they search circular. 10 out of 10. Circular, so cool. Anyway, they summon a whole bunch of guys. Singularity shows up. They're activating the effect. How many cards do they have in their extra? That's right. They have 7. Keep that in mind. They go for the super factorial. They go for the Labrynth here. Activate the Labrynth. Grab a math mech. They grab the equation here. Since they already grabbed the trap with the circular, they're gonna go equation. Bring back this guy. Then go into Neo Tempest Terahertz. I don't know why they put it there, but they do. And then bring back the Firewall Dragon. They send the D-Save Worm. They set 2 and pass. Wow, what an insane end board from my opponent. Genuinely, it'd be a shame if they got a different monster on their field that they just didn't want. I get to set 3, they then go for the super factorial here, and I'm like, okay, that's a little frustrating. They do get to get rid of 2 of my cards through the Lablation, and of course they hit the big welcome, and I'm like, well shoot, I kind of needed that one. But of course I set the Imperm in the middle, which is the one that I care about the least, and that is exactly the one that they go for. By the way, 3 cards in extra. What do you think those 3 cards are? They go to battle, by the way, exact lethal. Cool. I'm going to go for the Dogmatic Punishment. They are going to go for the Negate, and I'm like, no. No. Stop. Now, I'm still not dead if the Firewall Dragon goes to the grave, so I'm feeling pretty good here. So the Firewall Dragon goes away, except it doesn't because of Entis, but that's fine because I just pop my own monster, and they just walk over the field. Right. I just wanted to take the least amount of damage that I could, so I just popped my own monster. It's not really going to do anything. But my opponent goes then for the... they do this whole thing. They summon out the Firewall Defensor. They go for the Dotscaper. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to go for the Welcome here. I'm going to activate the effect of the Welcome here. And then I'm going to special summon out Lovely. Now, you may be wondering, wait, what are we doing? Big Welcome was sent not too long ago. And so, yeah, I just get a Compulse to this. And he goes, oh, shoot, I have nothing now. There's nothing for me to do here. So they scoop. Cyberse. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is incredibly fun to play. Obviously, it's not great when, like, you flip a Rivalry or a Skill Drain or something like that, but overall, I really do enjoy control decks, right? They're some of the most fun to play, and they really reward some big brain ideas and some big brain interaction, right? However, I will say, Lab is not exactly in a great state in a format like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, or just in general, right? Lab has been... Actually, every trap deck in existence, pretty much, has been fighting against Yu-Gi-Oh's core mechanic, which is you have to set traps. So they're inherently worse, right? Sure, they have, like, some very solid effects, like the Counter Trap, Solemn Strike, or Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. They're really powerful effects. The problem is, you have to set them, and they don't actually provide any pressure to end the game most of the time. Which means that oftentimes you have to play out multiple turns, which can be very hectic and very problematic against very fast-paced combo decks. That's pretty much it. That's the biggest issue, is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Just doesn't really facilitate traps. Similar to how they don't really facilitate pendulum decks, but at the very least they keep printing traps that actually do stuff, whereas they don't really print pendulums. Dear Lanta, that is difficult to say. They don't really print pendulums that actually do stuff, right? There's not like a pendulum that reads like Daruma Karma Cannon, because if there was, it'd be busted. And not like in a healthy way, in like a stupid, silly, unfun way. Anyway, why am I throwing strays at Pendulum? I don't know. Anyway, I do really enjoy this deck. I find it very fun, and I find control decks to be fun, as I've mentioned. Yeah, I don't think this is the best deck. I just think this is like an interesting take, and is going to, in my mind, be better in this next metagame. I also think that it will be pretty good into Tenpai, right? Just take out this, and it's pretty good, right? Maybe throw in some Solemn Judgments for the red reboots, but other than that, I think that this deck is pretty decent, all things considered. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like us very much, so appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.